Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loaders 15, where I'll be giving you my thoughts and feelings for some of the racing coming from Aintree tomorrow. But before we get into that, quickly just want to reflect on how our tips performed today. In the end it was a bit of a mixed bag. We got a bit of each way money back with You Think So at Kempton, advertised at 6-1. He finished in third place in the end. However, the nap was disappointing. Cadillac, he had every chance if he was good enough on the day. Maybe he needed the run, but in the end, Pearls Galore just had too much class for him and he wasn't able to land a Glover on at Leopardstown. So that was frustrating there, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Overall, it's been a good year so far, and fingers crossed we can have a good Aintree after we had a good Cheltenham a few weeks ago. So let's get into it then. Four selections for tomorrow's racing, all coming from Aintree, and we're going to be going to the 145 for my first tip of the day. We're going to be going with my next best here, and that's a horse called Warlord for Brendan Powell and Colin Tizard, currently available at 5-2 with most firms. I put this horse up quite a few times this season, and he's done us a few favours. You might remember when we put him up, he won for us at Carlisle. We put him up in the Arkle as well with the extra places, and he was able to get in there at 40-1 each way. So yeah, he's definitely done us a few favours this jump season, and I just think he's found his race tomorrow. Now, last time we saw him, like I say, he finished fourth in the Arkle, and he's been campaigned over 2 miles as a novice chaser this season. But if you go back through some of his hurdle form, he actually seemed to be all right at 2.5 miles. So this step up in trip tomorrow might just bring out a little bit more improvement. He was actually getting outpaced and staying on again in the closing stages of the Arkle. He just didn't have the speed of the likes of the winner Edwardstone, who he bumped into a couple of times this season, but he hasn't disgraced himself at all. If there is any rain that there could be come in overnight at Aintree, that would aid his cause as well. He handles these, so that shouldn't bother him at all. Colin Tizard's team have been in much better form this year. They won this race a couple of years ago. They do well at Aintree at this particular meet, and every year it seems they always have a good squad and have quite a few winners. And I just thought Warlord, he ticked a lot of the boxes tomorrow. I couldn't have picked Dory. Earn River for me has got to prove himself in this kind of company. I just didn't think this was a particularly strong race. Thought Warlord was the rock solid one, and I'm hoping he'll get his day in the sun at Aintree tomorrow in the opening race there. So he's going to be my selection in the 145. We then go to my Longshot, which runs in the Aintree hurdle, the 330. And I thought Guard Your Dreams was quite a big price here for Sam and Nigel Twiston Davis, currently available at 28-1. I'm going to recommend 0.5 each way selection. Now, you're looking at Guard Your Dreams on the bare form, and you're thinking, blimey, he's got a little bit to find. Why are you picking him? However, last time I thought he didn't quite get the jockey that was on him that day, Jordan Naylor, didn't quite get the best out of him. He finished third in the National Spirit Hurdle behind Botox Has and Brewing Up a Storm, who he has to reoppose form with tomorrow. But Jordan Naylor, like I say, was aboard that day, and I just didn't think he gave him the best of ride. He appeared to be cruising going into the home straight. He was still on the bridle, but then there was a couple of horses that kind of were in and around him, and he kind of got squeezed, and he made a bad jump, and then he went on the outside and he started hanging a little bit. I've never really seen him do that before. But I think Jordan Naylor that day was thinking that he had a little bit more than he really did. But I just think with Sam Twiston Davis back aboard, who knows him really well, I just think that might be able to make the difference and make him run a better race tomorrow. Plus, we know that he's capable over this trip. You've got the likes of Epatome, also as well Zanahir. They've not proved themselves at this trip. Brewing Up a Storm is 2 in and out. I can't have him, but he probably is the one I'm scared of most. I didn't think much of the others had that strong form claimed. I just thought Guard Your Dreams tomorrow. If there is a board over, it could be him. He's a 6-year-old. He's been an ultra consistent horse. He won the Grade 2 International Hurdle at Cheltenham, so he is a classy operator. Obviously, he does have to find a few pounds on the ratings, but he's not totally out of it. Nigel Twiston Davis won this a few years ago with a new one, and this horse, it just reminds me of him in a way, and he could just be open to a little bit more improvement. He ran okay here as well last year as a novice hurdler behind my Drogo when he finished third. So he knows the track okay. Ground should be fine. He's pretty versatile on all kinds of ground. Trip should be fine. He's got a bit of gears. He comes in fresh, having avoided Cheltenham. I think if he actually ran at Cheltenham in the champion hurdle, if they did go down that route, I don't think he would have been beaten far behind the others. They all seemed to finish quite close behind each other. There wasn't too much separating them. And I just think tomorrow in this race, he's been overpriced, overlooked, And for me at 28 to 1, I'm going to recommend a small stakes each way, 0.5 each way selection on him there. We then go to the 440 at Aintree, and I'm going to go with an extra tip here with a horse called Shake 'em Up Harry for Kevin Brogan, claiming free. He's riding for Ben Paulin here, currently available at 11 to 1 with SkyBet, who are offering 6 places. Now, this horse, Shake 'em Up Harry, is quite an interesting horse, actually. Has always been highly regarded by Ben Paulin and has got a lot of good form next to his name, especially when he was a novice. This year, over fences, he's done okay. He won at Haydock. He then finished second behind Amarillo Sky last time out at Newbury. But I just think the fact we've not seen him since then could just be in his favour. He's a horse that didn't go to Cheltenham for the Grand Annual, where many of these did run in the Grand Annual, and I just wonder if they might have had a hard race and it could have left their mark. Obviously, that was the day when the conditions got very, very attritional. And yeah, I just think there's a few horses in here. It might just left their mark on him, where Shake Me Up Harry avoided Cheltenham and he comes here fresh. He's off a mark of 136, which is £1 lower. But if you read the comments about what Ben Paulin said about him in the past, I think they think he's slightly better than his mark. Kevin Brogan is also an interesting jockey booking, claiming the £3 off. He's leading the way in the Conditional Jockeys Championship. I thought he had pretty solid credentials. He's pretty versatile as well. He won't mind a bit of ease and conditions. Ben Paulin said that he would like a little bit of rain for him, which they could get, but I think he would be okay on better ground. He's out of presenting mare whose progeny normally like that better ground, and he's untested on that, and I just think he would be slightly better if they did have quicker ground. So yeah, I think he's a really interesting horse. I think he's definitely capable of winning a race of this nature, and yeah, I'm going to put him up there as my extra tip of the day. We then go to my nap of the day, which runs in the 5:15 at Aintree, and I quite like the chances here of Naughtinesse for Tom Hamilton and Lorna Fowler. Currently available at 6 to 1, Bet365 through offering 5 places. I'm going to recommend a 1 point each way selection here. Now, I know bumpers aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I just thought this horse, Naughtinesse, had been laid out for this race. Very interesting horse. She finished second on her debut effort at the Punchestown Festival last year behind a fair horse of Emmett Mullin. She was then kept away until Christmas time, when she won a bumper over the Christmas period, and she was very impressive. You got to say that bumper subsequently thrown up quite a few winners, and she was never really out of second gear that day. Tom Hamilton was aboard. He's riding her tomorrow, so this looks like it's been a well calculated plan. Lorna Fowler as well. She's a very capable trainer. She obviously had Politesse that did well for her in bumpers. She's done well with Colonel Mustard this year, coming over a couple of times, ran a great race in the county hurdle. Very capable, shrewd trainer. I just think this horse has got a bit more to come. It's from a lovely family as well. It's from the family of Don Pauline, de Bissay. So lots to like in the pedigree. I think this horse will be there or thereabouts come the end of the race tomorrow. And I thought 6 to 1 was actually quite a big price about her, and I'd be interested to see what price she goes off tomorrow. I think she could arguably vie out favouritism. I'm quite keen on her to run a big race today, and I just think her form, especially in Ireland, is a lot better than some of the British mares in this race. So yeah, that's why she's going to be my nap of the day. So they're the selections then for day 1 of the Aintree Festival. Let me know what you're going to be back in the comments box below tomorrow. If you're enjoying these videos, remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe here to my YouTube channel as well. My Grand National preview will be out tomorrow, so remember to stay tuned for that. If you want to follow me on the old socials, Twitter and Insta are the places to do so, where my handle is @LuckyLoader15. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll be seeing you soon.